Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to make a butter chicken that is better than takeout and super easy. So let's get going. Okay, so I have about a pound of chicken diced up here, raw chicken. You can use a pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, however big your family is. Doesn't really matter. To that, so this is going to be our marinade, and I'm going to put a half a cup of whole fat yogurt in there, just plain yogurt. And then for our spices, we have cumin, paprika, turmeric, garam masala, salt, pepper. I put a little bit of cayenne, and I'll put these down in the description box below and up on the screen probably. And then you're going to put about a tablespoon-ish of lemon juice. And call that good. And then this is going to get mixed up. And this is the marinade for the chicken. So you want to do this a few hours beforehand, or at least an hour beforehand. And you're going to just mix this all together. Nice little salmonella soup here. And then we're going to just put some plastic wrap. So we're going to put this into the refrigerator. I put this out in my garage refrigerator because there is no way salmonella soup is going into my inside refrigerator. But I'm going to go chill this for a couple of hours. Guys, so now we're going to get to cooking. So we've had this marinating for a couple of hours. On my cutting board here, I have chopped up an onion, minced up some garlic. I have some ginger that I'm going to grate up and some butter. We don't need these right at this moment, but I just wanted to show you the spread. All right, guys, so for our butter chicken, we are going to take a pot, obviously. I am going to throw some oil in here because we're going to cook our chicken. I just made the naan for tonight, and I will link that video in the description box down below. But oh my gosh, did that not turn out amazing? Definitely go watch it. Let me know what you think. This goes really good with buttered chicken. Again, go watch it. Also, if you could like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I get the biggest ick with chicken. I am not going to lie. So I don't like touching it. Anyways, we're going to scrapey all of our spices and stuff. Okay, so we're going to cook our chicken. I'm going to go ahead and get our rice going. And I just use a really nice jasmine rice. And we're going to do, you do however many servings you want. I'm going to do 1 cup of rice. And no, I don't rinse this rice off. I buy really high quality. I've never found anything odd in it. So I'm going to do 1.5 cups of water. And then to my rice, I always add like a pinch of salt and a dash of oil. Just makes it better. Don't ask me why. I don't really know. Anyways, so this is how I do it. And then I'm just going to bring it to a boil, and then I'm going to turn it to the lowest setting and let it simmer for a while. Starting to boil back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a little stir. I'm going to pop my lid on, and I'm going to turn it over to low. And I'm just going to let that cook for probably 25 minutes or so. And then I'll just leave it be. We're gonna let our rice cook very, very slowly. If you have a rice cooker, use that. I just don't have the fancy gadgets. So I just do it the old-fashioned way. Our chicken cooking, I'm gonna give it a flip. And this takes, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or so. I don't cook on super duper high heat. I choose to cook a little low and slow. With everything, that was just how I was taught. So don't turn this up too high, and don't try rushing it. This really is like a Sunday evening meal, or a Sunday meal type thing, or Saturday. As I say, when you have the weekend off, but I work the weekends. But because it's quite the process, but it is really worth it. And it is super easy. It's just, it takes a little bit of time. And I know that, you know, that is subjective, obviously, whether that makes it easy or not. But anyways, all right. So now I'm going to take this chicken out because we are going to saute our onion, and then we'll add our garlic and ginger. But first, we're going to saute our onion. So we're going to pull all of our chicken out and just set it in a bowl to the side. It's going to go back in here in a little bit, but so don't eat this yet. It may not be like totally cooked. I mean, you know, you can do whatever you want. So I'm going to put that couple tablespoons of butter in, whoop, and 1 onion. And then we're going to saute that till it's translucent. And then I have our spices here, and I will put those up on the screen, and then I will also put it down in the description box below. So we're going to saute our onion for a little bit here until it's translucent. And we'll kind of like scrape all these little brown bits off the bottom because that's going to give a lot of good flavor. So these onions will kind of just deglaze the pan with the butter. So we're going to let those saute for a few minutes here. All right, now that we have our onion good and sauteed, I'm going to add in our garlic, our minced garlic, a couple of cloves of that. And then I'm going to add some ginger, about a tablespoon or so. Okay, saute that for about 30 seconds or so. Not long. Now we're going to put our seasonings in, and we're going to saute those. This helps bring the flavor of those seasonings out. Do that for about 30 seconds or a minute. And you don't want to have your heat too high because you don't want to burn this. That is not the vibe. And then we're going to add a can of tomato sauce. This is a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. And we're going to turn our heat down so that this doesn't start popping all over the counter, because it will. You could put a lid on it. I don't. I just cook it down a little bit. So we're going to simmer this, I would say, for about 10, 15, 20 minutes. Depends on how you're feeling. We're going to cook this down just so the onions cook down a little bit more. Like I said, you want to have this on a really low heat. And we're going to add a big old dollop of honey. I would say a big tablespoon and a half. But see, if you have your heat too high, you see how it's bubbling? It'll start splatting everywhere. So I put about, I don't know, tablespoon and a half, big tablespoon of honey. This is how I buy my honey in these big, huge things, because that's how much I love this honey. It's local to us, and I love it. It is the best honey I have ever had, and I'm a honey connoisseur, so I know. Anyways, okay, so we're going to cook this down. We're not going to put our chicken back in there just yet. So we're going to simmer this down for a little while, say about 10 minutes or so. And then we'll add our chicken back in and some cream, and then we'll simmer that for a while too. This is a very simmery dish. It is not a wham bam, thank you ma'am. This is a slow and steady wins the race. Okay, slow and steady. My son would say, I'm going to put a slow simmer on this. It'll be done at like 7 p.m. tomorrow. It's a 24-hour simmer. Shout out to Kelly. All right, we're going to add our chicken back into our tomato sauce mixture. We're going to stir that around, and we are also going to add in a cup of heavy cream, and we're going to simmer this into oblivion. All right, guys, so this is simmered for 30 minutes or so. We've got our rice. So now I'm going to show you. Here's our jasmine rice. So this is how I serve the paired chicken, or this is how my family eats it. So we have our rice, and then a good scoop of the buttered chicken on top, and a delicious piece of naan bread. So there you go. Enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good day. Bye-bye.